hit the lock in and get that watched. But today we got some gaming news for you guys. We got 2 articles to go over, and then we got 2 trailers to freaking watch Mortal Kombat before we get to some Master Duel. Yeah. But the first thing we got, Ubisoft. They out here doing some Ubisoft things, and they recently announced. We had an article, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, where they announced that a new Ghost Recon game was coming out, and I had talked about how I really hope that it's not another Wildlands style game, open world Ghost Recon. Now, talking about like how it'll be a great idea for them to just go back to the roots. Well, the new information we got today is that the next Ghost Recon game will be first person. So that kind of leans into the thought process that it might be more like the original Ghost Recon games than the Wildlands and Breakpoint game. That's a lot to look forward to in a way if you're a Ghost Recon fan like myself. Assuming that would be the thought process. But some of the things that came out, this all came from a shareholder meeting where Yves Guillemot, that little shitty Frenchman, fuck that guy, had confirmed that at a shareholder meeting that a new game was in development. This is where like a lot of game leaks become reality, is these meetings, because a lot of times when it comes to like meetings with shareholders, that stuff becomes public. So he talked about the success of Rainbow Six Siege as an example of the company's expertise in live service games, which kind of points to me that this game might be live service. Because he's pointing out, live service being successful for the company, and he also uses Siege as an example. So this might be Ghost Recon game that does have a heavy multiplayer influence. Eve says our objective is to also make strong progress in growing market. Generally speaking, by continuing to enhance our current experience that we offer and capitalizing on upcoming launches such as The Division and Ghost Recon. That tells us that not only we get a new Ghost Recon game, we're getting a new Division game. Now, Ubisoft has tried to do spin-offs for The Division, and all of them have failed. There's one that was like a mobile game, and that didn't go anywhere. There's another one that was kind of supposed to be like a full-blown extraction shooter, basically taking like the Dark Zone and making like its own game. That kind of just died. So I'm guessing the next Division will be like an actual Division 3. You look forward to that if you're a Division fan. So, see if there's anything else here that would be relevant. It doesn't really look like it, just more than talking about how they want to boost their live service games and how they think live service games are successful. So yeah, you look forward to that. I just hope it's not a bad game. Ubisoft has been putting out like a lot of like, I won't say bad games, but a lot of like drool games, basically games that don't reinvent the wheel, games that aren't really unique. It's just the same formulaic video games. And so you kind of want them to stop just being boring and actually put out some new content and new ideas, some fresh ideas, and make better games. So sticking with Ubisoft says that monetization makes the player experience more fun. So recently we had a discussion on a live stream. This was like last Saturday. We had a discussion on the live stream about how gamers are the biggest part of the problem on why games are so monetized. And Ubisoft themselves are saying in a recently published 400-page document that microtransactions are a good thing. They think microtransactions are something that the players actually like, and the players think of as fun. And the reason why they have this thought process, as I said in that stream, is that because they don't care about the complaints people have about live service games or microtransactions. What they care about is the action of the player. The player is going out here and spending all this money on microtransactions, and so they see that and just view that as, oh, they like it. So if they didn't like it, they wouldn't buy it, right? So that's how Ubisoft sees it. If the players didn't like microtransactions, they wouldn't buy microtransactions, but we do. Mind you, this is a company who came out with a $50 skin in Rainbow Six Siege. So there must be like a lot of people buying that Valkyrie skin in Siege, as Ubisoft going, damn, they like this shit. Let's see. They have some excerpts from it. The adoption of monetization and engagement policies that respect the player experience are substantial in the long term. At Ubisoft, the golden rule when developing premium games is allow players to enjoy the game in full without having to spend more. That's like right here is that whole little gimmick of hey, you buy your game but you don't have to spend more money, but you can. So it's an illusion. It's a literal illusion where they're telling you you can enjoy the game without spending extra money unless you want to spend extra money. But then they make the things in a way to where you kind of like have to spend extra money if you really want to engage the game in its full. Like you can play it, but in order to experience it fully, spend money. I'll give you an example. Right now, Rainbow Six Siege, you can play for free. But if you want to play ranked, you got to buy the full game. You can play everything else for free. You can play dual front, you can play quick play, you can interact with the characters. But if you want to play ranked, you gotta buy the full game. And when it comes to microtransactions, you can sit there and just wear the base skins all you want. But when you're seeing everyone else run around with, paid for skins, things like that, that FOMO kicks in. You're like, oh, I kind of don't want to just be sitting here wearing default skins. So I guess I'll spend $5 here and there, $10 here and there to get my skins. So it's all manipulative. Let's see. So there's this one right here. The safest, the safety and well-being of our players are top priority, and we will do everything we can to protect their data, provide safe and enjoyable gameplay environments, and guarantee responsible monetization mechanisms. That's all just bullshit. Like, the game has a lot of Ubisoft games has a hacking problem, so sure, you're protecting the player data if you think that, but deal with the hackers. And then responsible monetization mechanisms is basically saying like, hey, it's not gambling because you know what you're getting. That's what I mean when I say like guarantee responsible monetization mechanisms, is that you're not gambling. If you open a loot box, that's gambling. If you open up a package in like FC or Madden or 2K, that's gambling. But in Ubisoft, you know exactly what you're getting. You know that skin you buy in the Assassin's Creed shop is that exact skin. You're not gambling, so therefore you're responsible. So yes, this is a little bullshit, to be honest with you. They think people want freaking microtransactions because people are engaging with it. Just about what I said before about the gamers are the biggest problem when it comes to why these studios do it, because these studios, they're led by CEOs who love money. That's why they're CEOs to begin with. And their marketing team has a bigger pool than the actual developers. When you see stuff like this, it's not the developers talking, it's the marketing staff talking, it's the PR staff talking, it's the CEOs talking, not the developers. Developers working their ass off, making less money than people who are talking by a mile. They're the scapegoats. They're the ones who are the shields for the marketing staff. They're the ones who are the shields for the CEOs. So all the blame and criticism goes to them instead of freaking people who make all the money. And those developers will tell you they do not agree with any of this shit. They want to make good games, but the marketing team doesn't allow them to make good games. So the other thing we got before we get into some Master Duel, not a lot of stuff to talk about today. We got the Johnny Cage trailer, then like the actual Mortal Kombat trailers. You want to watch both of those? Yes. Shit. Shit. Let's do it.
From New Line Cinema, the studio that brought you Cool Hand Cage, Hard to Cage, and Rebel Without a Cage, comes Uncaged Fury, starring Johnny Cage.
Excuse me, moi.
It's showtime. They pissed him off. They fucked with his shades. They should have brought more guys. You should have brought more guys. Uncaged Fury. Coming to a theater.
It's goofy. It's meant to be goofy. This is the real trailer, though.
Uno mas, thanks.
Speaking of Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
They should do a reboot.
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen.
Lord rating.
Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Sonya.
Where the hell am I?
Kitana.
Mortal Kombat.
Alright, so I think this is gonna be like pretty mediocre. Like already, like just looking at Sonya deliver that line, that was such a mediocre delivery of that line. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty mediocre.
It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Fuck that.
Shao Kahn,
This is a war
Kung Lao.
of your world.
There's Liu Kang as well with Kung Lao
This is a
right here. So you got Liu, Kung Lao.
war for the fate of your world.
You dickheads in or what?
That was Cole. I wonder how involved Cole's gonna be in this movie. Obviously, you got freaking dickhead right there. Cole's right here. It's kind of like one of the curiosities when the first movie ended, is people didn't like his character, so it was kind of like hoping that they would just like scrap the whole idea of his character even being a thing and go with somebody else. It's kind of funny though, because like we're seeing Cole in like this little half a freaking second, and everyone else is getting like more screen time. It's like maybe they do kind of just like push the idea of Cole back. You got Jade, who's been involved in controversy. People don't like the fact that she doesn't have any hair. When it comes to my thought process, Jade's one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. I get it because the person who they casted doesn't have hair, and I would much rather they just left it that way instead of giving her like a shitty ass wig, because you know this is I want to say low budget, but it's not a high budget film. And usually when it comes to like things like wigs, they tend to cheap out, and you would notice it a lot, especially if you have her doing like a lot of like combat and shit. I prefer if Jade had long hair, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal. So I'm not gonna like be like, oh, this movie's ass because a character I like doesn't have freaking long hair. That's a silly thing to like get upset about. I don't really. It's not a big deal. As for being Tati, she's starting to become like a Deborah Wilson in a sense. We're starting to see her a lot. She's in The Last of Us. She's in a new video game coming from Insomniac. So if you're in nerd culture, you start to see her more and more and more, which just means these studios like her to a point where they want to keep hiring her. The only downside to that is when Hollywood finds like minorities they like, they tend to only want to hire just that one minority. So you start seeing less and less black women get hired, and instead just Tati getting all those roles, which is a blessing and a curse, a double-edged sword, because it's good for her, but at the same time they're ignoring other people because they just want to like, hey, you're one of the good ones, so we'll just use you.
I'm not some champion. I don't have transformer
There's Jimmy Olsen. You get it.
arms. Or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
Baraka.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
It's time.
Hanzo.
Become the hero you were meant to be.
Alright, you big ugly fuck. It's showtime.
Is that Noob Zybot? You're getting Hanzo against Noob Zybot. So you got Scorpion right here, aka Hanzo, and Noob Zybot. The effects are very, very freaking. That looks very bad. Like I said, this is not a high budget movie. The CGI here looks like utter shit. This looks just as like bad as like the freaking that one from not like the original 90s one, but like the one that came after that. Like even that probably would have had better CGI than this. This looks bad when it comes to like the CGI for this movie. At least when it comes to like how they have news like about where the shadow gets poured out.
Are you shitting me? You don't have any pounds? Just incredibly.
That's something I just thought like notice. He looks like freaking Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You don't have any pounds? Just incredibly handsome.
Gotta be honest, it's kind of mediocre. Mortal Kombat 1 Definitive Edition now available. Get exclusive character skins from the Mortal Kombat movie. So if you buy the Definitive Edition, which, you know, this game has been doing awful when it comes to player count and just sales. So they're trying to like get you to come back to the freaking game by promising you skins from the movie. You get Shao Kahn, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, and Katana. I don't think anyone actually cares.